This is the 15th regular meeting of 2026 and the 67th meeting of the current term of the Metropolitan Council of Nashville and Davidson County. Roughly 1 year from today, on August 17th, 2027, we will have the final meeting of this council term. That means there are 23 regular meetings remaining this term. As Nashville's elected policymakers, I know you will use this remaining time and these meetings wisely. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation is being offered this evening by District 22 Council Member Sherry Weiner. Council Member, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Let us pause and remember the responsibility that's entrusted to us. We're here to serve the people of Nashville, to listen carefully, to deliberate thoughtfully, and to make decisions that strengthen our communities and protect the public good. As we enter the final year of this term, we do so during a time of uncertainty, division, and increasing noise around us. Grant us the wisdom to rise above distractions, personal differences, and political pressures, and remain focused on the work that we were elected to do. Help us lead with humility, fairness, and integrity. Remind us that disagreement doesn't require disrespect, that strong leadership is not driven by personality, and that our personal feelings should never outweigh our responsibility to the people that we represent. We also pause to remember those whose lives have been forever altered or lost through no action or fault of their own. We hold especially close the children who do not understand the world around them, the decisions of adults, or the circumstances that have changed their lives forever. May they be surrounded by protection, compassion, comfort, and hope. May we consider each issue on its merits, treat one another with dignity, and remember that our words and actions reach far beyond this chamber. They affect families, neighborhoods, businesses, and residents who depend on us to govern responsibly. Keep our motives honorable, our judgments sound, our hearts compassionate, and our attention centered on the needs of Nashville. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilmember Weiner. Welcome, council and community members. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of this year's committee chairs, especially several outgoing chairs, for their extra service and leadership this past year. For those chairs who led their final meetings yesterday and today, they will all continue to serve on their committees and are an important part of this body retaining its institutional memory for policy work. Speaking of our policy work, I want to let the council and the legal community know that online today, for the first time, is a publicly posted position with Metro HR. The job opening for special counsel and legislative services division director is live. As I have worked in partnership with the executive committee, council office staff, and our consultant partner to help evolve the council office operational model to meet the council's changing needs and the expectations and demands of a rapidly growing city, we are taking a somewhat new approach to this position, and we encourage experienced attorneys interested in municipal policy and leading a legal services team to apply. I also want to thank Interim Special Counsel Wilson for continuing to serve the council so well during this transitional period. The special counsel job application will close with Metro HR on September the 7th. All right, on a sad note, I know the council joins me in extending our condolences on the passing of the Honorable Jamie Isabel, the former council member for District 2. I have sent a letter on behalf of the council to his family to express the council's gratitude for his service to Nashville. I understand that Councilmember Toombs is preparing a resolution to honor him. And as that resolution will no doubt share, he was an entrepreneur from a young age, a graduate of TSU. He chaired 2 council committees and was a founder of the Black Caucus of the council. The council office has shared the arrangements for the visitation and provided a flag of the Metropolitan government to Mr. Isbell's family. We encourage all former council members to please stay in touch with the council office so that we can continue to share in Metro's celebrations and also in sad times like these. All right, without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to please record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of the meeting of August 4th? Okay, is there a second? All right, there is a motion properly seconded without objection and seeing no one seeking to be recognized for a change to the minutes. All right, the minutes of the meeting of August 4th are approved. Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, next off the top of our agenda, Section E for elections. Members will see their election tablets are open for item E1 regarding the Auditorium Commission. This is the consideration of 3 nominees to fill 2 vacancies on the commission with terms expiring on June 30th of 2029. That election is to be held today, right now. This election for the 2 vacancies among 3 persons requires 21 votes for each person to be able to be elected to this position. And so with that, Mr. Clerk, can you open the vote on members' tablets, please? Okay, Ms. Weiner appears to need some assistance with her tablet. If any other council members need technical assistance, if you would raise your hands. All right, with all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, council has elected Ron Deal Jr. with 29 votes and Rick Rodriguez with 23 votes. We also appreciate Aman Kashnau for putting themselves forward. Congratulations to Mr. Deal and Mr. Rodriguez. We appreciate your willingness to serve. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, now moving into section F of our agenda, appointees and nominees. This portion of the agenda shares all persons who were scheduled to appear before the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee for an interview this evening. Referrals back to the committee will be by rule as part of the council's 2-meeting process for elections and confirmations. No votes will be taken by the body in this section of the agenda. Chair Cash, a brief report, please, sir. No vote totals necessary, simply the name of the board, commission, committee, or entity, and the name of the appointees who were interviewed. And if a person in the appointment and confirmation process was unable to attend your committee this evening, at what meeting they will next appear, please, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, for the Health and Educational Facilities Board, Dr. Weda Davis, Matt Wilshire, Keith Randall, and Howard Jones were interviewed. We had some great discussion about our four-legged Nashvillians as we interviewed a bunch of people for Metro Animal Care and Control Compassion. Not just four, but they came up more than usual. Peyton Robbins, Mary Nell Bryan was withdrawn. Jordan Parento, Heather Derrick was withdrawn. Penny Adams, Dr. Yasin Kakoyi was withdrawn. Jean Gang, and then Michelle Spaziano, Jessica Schultz, Dr. Kelly Boyd, Dana Mobley, and then Annette Filippone was withdrawn, and Carolyn Bennick was withdrawn. And then for the Metro Animal Care and Control Commission nominee that is from representing a local nonprofit, Lisa Stetter was withdrawn, and we interviewed Brandon Dice and Becky Carter. We interviewed Council Member Bradford for the Metro Animal Care and Control Commission Council Rep. Then for the Midtown Central Business Improvement District Board, we interviewed, I'm not seeing the name.
Ms.
Angie
Gleason?
Gleason, thank
Okay,
you.
yeah.
And then for the Nashville Entertainment Commission, we interviewed Michael Montgomery and Erica Nichols. And for the Solid Waste Region Board, we interviewed Councilmember Berkeley Allen and Councilmember Russ Bradford.
All right. Thank you, Chair. Hold tight. You are still recognized for your committee report on the appointees in the second step of your committee's two-meeting process, this time with vote totals and a consolidated motion for the confirmation of those persons, or first a deferral motion if there are any. Go ahead, sir.
Yep, okay, for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission, we voted to approve 7-0. For the Contract and Compliance Board, we interviewed and approved Marcus T. Booth, 7-0. For the Housing Trust Fund Commission, Lizzie Goddard, approved 7-0. Nashville Entertainment Commission, Peter Kurland, 7-0. Parks and Recreation, appointment of Gina Emanuel, approved 7-0. Transportation and Licensing Commission, appointment of David Andrews, approved 7-0. And I move approval of the nominees.
All right. There's a motion to confirm these 6 appointees in a consolidated motion, properly seconded. Does anyone wish to remove an item from this motion for purposes of an individual abstention or no vote? All right. Seeing none, all in favor of these confirmations, please say aye. All right, council has confirmed these 6 appointees. To these folks, congratulations. If you chose to return to the council chamber this evening, do please stand as I call your name to be recognized. Council has confirmed the appointment of Kim Page, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Commission. We've changed that name a few times. Thank you. Council has confirmed the reappointment of Marcus T. Booth to the Contract and Compliance Board. If y'all would please remain standing. If council has confirmed to the Housing Trust Fund Commission the reappointment of Lizzie Goddard. Council has confirmed to the Nashville Entertainment Commission the reappointment of Peter Kurland. To the Parks and Recreation Board, the appointment of Gina Emanuel. And then lastly, council has confirmed the appointment of David Andrews to the Transportation and Licensing Commission. So we thank you all, whether watching at home or in person. Thank you, Ms. Page, for being here with us, and congratulations to you all. We appreciate your willingness to serve our city. Thank you. All right. Next, Section H of our agenda regarding nominations. First is Agenda Item H1 regarding the Health, Education, and Facilities Boards. I will now take nominations to fill one vacancy on this board. Council will have received a memo from me on August 3rd regarding those nominations to be taken today. This is to a term that is expiring on September 30th of 2032. Nominations are open. Recognized. You're recognized, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to nominate two people, Will Rosenthal and Brian Drobnik.
Okay, Councilmember Allen has nominated Will Rosenthal and Brian Drobnik. Okay. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Chase Markham.
Okay, Councilmember Parker has nominated Chase Markham. Right, are there any additional nominations? All right, I will declare those nominations closed. Next, Agenda Item H2 regarding our President Pro Tem of the Council. Members have received a memo from me about this annual nomination and election process on August the 10th. This is for the final service, annual service, with that term expiring on August 31st of 2027. We will hold this election at the next council meeting. Nominations are open. First in the queue is Councilmember Bradford. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. It's my distinct honor to nominate my friend and colleague, Councilmember Olivia Hill.
All right, Councilmember Bradford has nominated Councilmember Olivia Hill. Right, Councilmember Taylor, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you. I nominate Councilmember Jeff Prepteat.
All right, Councilmember Taylor has nominated Councilmember Jeff Prepteat. Are there any additional nominations? All right, those nominations are closed as well. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is Section I, public comment. Members of the public who are Tennessee residents wishing to speak during public comment may sign up at the table outside the council chamber from 5 to 6 p.m. on the evening of a council meeting. Public comment is limited to 20 minutes total at council meetings, and each speaker is allowed up to 2 minutes to speak. Persons speaking on agenda items must be prioritized to comply with state law. All right. The first persons in the queue to speak are Michael Lacey, Charles Ellis, and Trina Huell. Michael Lacey is speaking on agenda item number 64. This is ordinance 1498 in support. Go ahead, Mr. Lacey, you're recognized.
Before I worked in government, I worked in live streaming video production for Fortune 100 clients, HSBC, JP Morgan, Citibank. That's where I learned about video encryption. With that experience, I say, I do not believe we have sufficient protections around surveillance tech until we require all surveillance footage to have end-to-end encryption with vendor lockout. There's no reason a vendor providing AI-powered corporate mass surveillance needs access to the footage of our residents, our private spaces, and our city's children. I publish a transparency dashboard with 100% of MNPD's drone flights, not just the 25 flights MNPD posts. So if MNPD or industry lobbyists claim that encrypting footage of our children so that corporations cannot view it would somehow eliminate transparency, that's inaccurate. And I'm happy to explain why. Not having access to footage might make corporations less money, but I know none of you on council, on MNPD, or those lobbying council believe that people should make money from footage of our neighbors, our private spaces, and our children. End-to-end video encryption with vendor lockout does exactly one thing. It stops corporations from viewing footage of our neighbors. It is the only thing that would have stopped Flock from showing a live stream video of a Jewish community center's children's gymnasium in a live sales demo, something that was reported on in HBO's Last Week Tonight recently. Unless companies like Fusus, Axon, and Skydio are profiting off of the footage of our private spaces, there's no reason they need access to it. This isn't about whether we trust police. It's about whether we trust corporations who have access to this footage. I don't. Do you?
All right, next is actually Charles Ellis. Mr. Ellis is speaking on agenda item number 77. This is ordinance 1416 in support. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Chip Ellis, and I live on Twin Hills Drive, and I strongly support 1416 for the contextual overlay for the neighborhood. Many of our neighbors are very concerned with everything that's going on in our neighborhood. We've all invested in the neighborhood. We all call it home. A lot of us, were original owners or bought from the original owners of the neighborhood. And we bought there because we appreciate the vibe and aesthetic of the neighborhood. Over the last 11 years or so, I've watched some of that erode away. I don't want to see the long-term residents of the neighborhood take a backseat to developers' ambitions. I know that affordable housing is a concern. The enclave at the end of Twin Hills Drive was supposed to help with that. It didn't sell quick enough. A lot of it got sold to investors, and now they're overpriced rental properties, very transient. The traffic in our neighborhood has gone up quite a bit, and because of all the traffic on Gallatin Road, we have to use the Goodwill parking lot just to get on our street, to the point where the Goodwill parking lot gets gridlocked. The light only lets 3 cars through at a time.
Mr. Ellis, would you kindly pull that microphone just a little bit closer to your
sorry
mouth,
about
please,
that.
sir? No worries. We just want to be sure to hear you.
We have another development going on in our neighborhood that's been on and off for 5 years. Lots of trucks, lots of debris in the road. We're the ones that pay our taxes, improve our homes, try and keep the neighborhood up, and we don't want to take a backseat to investors wanting to build tall and skinnies, tear down the lots or the houses on the lots, put multiple homes on them. We like our neighborhood the way it is. And with all the affordable housing going in at the Rivergate Mall, not to mention all the half-empty apartment complexes just south of Rivergate, I think this contextual overlay is a good idea, and I strongly support it, as do most of my neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Trina Hewell. After Ms. Hewell will be Nancy Wilson and Tyler Deaton. Trina Hewell is speaking regarding agenda item 64. This is ordinance 1498 in opposition. Go ahead, please.
Hi, my name's Trina Hewell. I live in District 6. Metro Code 1308080 exempts surveillance technology on a temporary basis for a criminal investigation supported by reasonable suspicion, a lawfully issued search warrant, or exigent circumstances as defined by case law. That is the legal basis MMPD in the mayor's office cite for the Drone as First Responder program. But the dispatch data shows drones sent to vehicle accidents involving only property damage, a civil matter, to vehicles blocking the right-of-way, to calls about a suspicious person. None of that is a criminal investigation, a warrant, or an emergency. I support the legislation narrowing this exemption, and I support closing it all the way because MMPD has shown it cannot be trusted to interpret its own limits. My own records requests are part of why we know this. MMPD filed 2 extensions before ultimately confirming no written agreement exists between the department and its drone vendor. No agreement, no written terms on how long footage is kept, who can access it, or how it's secured. We've simply been told to trust it. On August 7th, I and other residents were turned away at the door of MMPD headquarters, a publicly funded building, from a demonstration of this very program that a council member had announced is open to the public. A lobbyist was let in. When I called for help because I believed our own sunshine laws were being violated in real time, no help came. No drone, no officer, nothing. If this program is marketed as a first responder, I'd ask MMPD's own officers whether they're comfortable with a camera in the sky being called by the same name as the training that they receive. I also followed one of these drone cases of an armed burglary to its completion in court where all charges were dropped and dismissed because no witness could be produced. The drone can't be called to court.
Thank you. Next is Nancy Wilson, speaking on agenda item 78. This is ordinance 1420 in support. Go ahead.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Henderson, council members. My name is Dr. Nancy Wilson, and I live in the Cumberland and North Hills neighborhood. I am here tonight to lend and request support for Council Bill BL 2026-1420. As a gentrification and housing researcher, as well as an urban planner, my work focuses on equitable ways communities can grow and thrive without losing the people, the history, and the character of our unique neighborhoods. I'd like to state unequivocally that this overlay is not about stopping growth. It is about managing growth responsibly. Our homes are almost 60 to 70 years old, and collectively, they represent more than lot lines, setbacks, and patterns. They represent the lives of multiple generations of residents who call our neighborhoods home. Collectively, our neighbors have attended many meetings, and some of them could not be here this evening, but they are supporting this bill. This bill gives our community the planning tools to help us preserve our homes and accomplish that balance between growth as well as preservation. Thank you so much for your time, your service, and your role in supporting this bill by voting yes to create this contextual overlay for our precious community.
Thank you. All right. Next is Tyler Deaton. Following Tyler will be Ronnie Greer and Kelly Cheng. Tyler Deaton is speaking regarding agenda item 73, ordinance 1406 in support. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Deaton, and I'm with MI Homes. My comments today are in reference to BL 2026-1406 and its companion bill 1407, both of which passed 2 weeks ago at second reading. During the public hearing, there was a request that we meet with the community again prior to the third reading. Councilmember Lee facilitated that meeting, our 8th community meeting, which was held on Thursday. As a result of that meeting, we've made 2 additional commitments to future improvements. First, we will make a partial financial contribution to the city towards improvements at the intersection of Cane Ridge Road and Blairfield Drive. Second, we have committed to an additional proactive measure for an adjacent homeowner to further mitigate their concerns regarding potential impacts on their property. Both commitments are directly responsive to concerns brought up at that community meeting and reflect our continued effort to work alongside the community throughout this process. We respectfully ask for your approval at third reading tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next is Ronnie Greer. Speaking regarding CHIME, the Choose How You Move referendum and transportation plan in opposition. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Vice Mayor. Members of the council, my name is Ronnie Greer. I'm an alumni of this body, having served 8 years.
Yes, sir. The Honorable Ronnie Greer. Welcome, sir. Yes.
And I came to speak about the mayor's Choose How You Move project. I've just been made aware that that project is going to move up Edge Hill Avenue from 21st Avenue to 8th Avenue. We're actually going to go all around to Chestnut. The plan is to turn that 4-lane road into a 2-lane road with protected bike lanes on either side. Tonight I asked and offer or encourage each of you to go out to Edge Hill Avenue between 4:30 and 5:30 and try to come up from 21st and just go to 8th Avenue as it is right now where we got 4 lanes of traffic going in, 2 in each direction, and think about changing that to 1 lane going in each direction. You've made a 10-minute trip from 8th Avenue to Vanderbilt, a 20-minute trip just because you narrowed the road. You would think that as we grow, we would like to cause our citizens to be able to move more freely. This plan, this design for the Edge Hill community will cause us a bottleneck that no one wants to go downtown because of the bottleneck. Now you're creating that same bottleneck in the South Nashville side. Edge Hill is a throughway. It's a connector between West End at 21st and Murfreesboro Road. The only other connector is Wedgwood Avenue. There are no other ways to get from 21st across town. And I saw the project is already, so I know 90% in its design phase already completed, but it doesn't have to be that way. I strongly encourage you to ride up to Edge Hill. Check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greer. All right. Next is Kelly Cheng. Kelly will be followed by John Bull and Michael Mara. Ms. Cheng is speaking regarding agenda item 64. This is ordinance 1498 in support. Go ahead.
Hi, I am in support of this legislation, although I have to admit I do not have much faith that it will be effective because time after time after time, we have seen MMPD, along with the help of Metro Legal and the mayor's office, assist them in routing around, breaking, illegally implementing surveillance technology in our city. We saw this with Fusus, which, yes, came under John Cooper and continued for a little while under Mayor O'Connell. They then brought a new contract back to continue surveilling us with Fusus and aggregating all of our data into a single pane of glass. We saw this with, in May, the start of the Skydio drone trial program, which most council members did not know about when it happened. Again, as Trina said, nothing in writing. I don't need to reread you all the exemptions or why people don't believe that this fits into that exemption. As Trina said, there are plenty of things. You can pull the information yourself. I'll email you a CSV of all the reasons why these drones have been used to spy on our neighbors. These are not all emergencies. Are there some emergencies in there? Sure. But there are things like suicidal. So I guess if someone in our city is going through a mental health crisis and is thinking about committing suicide, they now get a drone to show up to them. That is not what we need. That is not safety. And while this was happening, I was alerted last week by someone from another state who was doing their own research on what their police department is using and how they're abusing Flock, and found out that MMPD has been using side door access completely unapproved by you all and has run more than 1,000 Flock searches through their national database looking for information on Nashvillians. That is not something that has been approved by this council. And as I said, time and time again, we see MMPD violating these things. They talk about building public trust, but there is no basis for public trust when they're constantly spying on us and not even coming to you all for the proper approval. If you all want to approve it, that is your purview, but you don't even get the chance to do that. And it's a pattern and we're sick of it.
Thank you. Next is John Bull. Speaking on agenda item 64 as well, ordinance 1498 in support. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm a registered voter, South Nashville. I support the ordinance, in particular the proposed substitute. I'm impressed with the work the sponsors have done in working with this. I know too much about bureaucracies. I appreciate the effort that they're curtail and take care of our privacies, but these are hard times, to be sure. Yes, I support the proposed substitute. We're watching this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next is Michael Mara. Michael is speaking regarding ordinance 1497, no right on red in opposition. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, and I won't be able to attend the September reading, so thank you for taking the time today. My name is Michael. I'm a resident HOA leader, and I work on Broadway in downtown Nashville 5 to 7 nights a week. Safety and well-being of Nashvillians and visitors is my life. I firmly believe this well-intentioned initiative will have the opposite effect, and it will make life and travel worse, and for both drivers and pedestrians, it will put more lives in danger. I also want to mention that the recent tragedy on Broadway involved an individual going straight through a red light and not turning, so we should be wary before we use that for this initiative. Right on reds are essentially stop signs. You must come to a full stop and then turn right. No one would accuse stop signs of being deadly traffic initiatives. What they do is help traffic flow, and if you stop that, you will have more congestion, irritated drivers, and busier and more dangerous streets. There is a 2020 NIH study on the relation between congestion and traffic accidents, which came to the same conclusion that, and I quote, managing traffic to avoid higher levels of congestion would have the greatest impact on reducing accident occurrence. I lived through the attempt at the bus lane on Broadway, which turned a 5-minute drive into a 35-minute traffic nightmare. It increased traffic by 800%. It made life worse for while I try it. In closing, I think we all have the shared goal to make our roads and roads safe for residents and visitors, drivers and pedestrians. If we want to reduce accident occurrence, I believe we must avoid and rethink bills like the No Right on Red initiative, which will not achieve our shared goal. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Benjamin Davis speaking on agenda item 64, ordinance 1498, speaking in support. Go ahead.
Good evening, councilors or council members. As many of you know, the drone program was started without any authorization from this council or any other, because they said that they were given free and no contract drones. By bypassing all of our elected officials, MMPD has shown a blatant disregard for the citizens of this city, and it's just one in a long list of their unwillingness to respect the rule of law and the rights of those that live here. By voting against this bill, you will be giving MMPD and the corporations that supply the technology unfettered access to patrol our skies and to spy on our citizens. The people of Nashville are sick of being recorded without their consent and of having their privacy revoked. Please do not give them yet another tool to invade our lives. I would encourage all of you to educate yourself about this technology and surveillance technology in general. If you don't understand what end-to-end encryption is, or you think that you understand it better than those that are providing this technology, then you are incorrect. If you think that MNPD understands it better than those that are creating and supplying this technology, you are incorrect. Please educate yourselves before you vote on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have just shy of 4 minutes of residual time, so we have 2 folks on our waiting list. First is Mannon Hall speaking regarding agenda item 64, ordinance 1498 in support. Go ahead, Mr. Hall.
Hey, I've already spoken on this legislation. Well, I guess before it existed, I brought to y'all the issue of these drones bypassing council and not going through the proper channels, you know, the democratic proper channels. And so I'm in support of this legislation, in support of the substitute. Also would love to touch on Choose How You Move. Strong support of that. I was at a community meeting with the Honorable Ronnie Glenn Greer at just last week, and it talked about, there's a great presentation on why we should why we should reduce the lanes, why we should have a road diet on Edge Hill. It doesn't meet the needs of 4 lanes of traffic. It also, the goal is to make it safer, make it more accessible for people that are going to choose to walk, choose to bike. There is between 8th and 12th where they're concerned, there is a school, actually multiple schools, there's parks, and then it's right across from thousands of units of housing. So making that a safer street for those individuals to cross, to interact with, to bike to and from. Reducing the lanes also will encourage all the drivers that ultimately right now, the traffic he's in between 4:30 and 6 are people trying to avoid getting on the freeway, you know, around the Gulch area. And so it's like, let's get the people that are not his neighbors, the people in Edge Hill, let's make it safer for them to get around and discourage people driving through their neighborhood. You know, the bus lane downtown last year, the bus pilot, you know, as someone who often frequents going down Nolensville, going down Murfreesboro Pike, It was an incredible improvement. It reduced times 30 plus minutes, and I'd love to see the data around 800% changes. But yeah, thanks.
All right. Next is Casey Abramson regarding being proactive with ice storms. Go ahead, Casey, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. I just moved here about 2 weeks ago, and during that time, I've spoken to a lot of people in the city, and they told me about the very catastrophic ice storm last year. And I think the city would do very, very well in being more proactive in preventing things like this. It's much more affordable to the taxpayers in terms of making sure that the trees stay healthy, lessening their chances of collapsing and destroying power lines, also maintaining the soil. This would also help create jobs year-round for residents in the city. And I understand, I am not aware of the city's budget or the city's way of doing things, but as a private citizen of this city, I really look forward to working close with all of you to, making this not just a better city, but also a better state. Thank you, everybody.
All righty. Thank you, and welcome to Nashville. All right, that concludes public comment. Next is Section J of our agenda, our consolidated consent agenda. All resolutions and second and third reading ordinances on this agenda are included on the consent agenda if recommended for approval unanimously by all committees to which the item was referred. Items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. The item number, along with the resolution and ordinance number of the items on the consent agenda, will be read by me. And then members of the council may remove any item from the consent agenda by request before the consent agenda vote is taken. All righty. The first item, or first resolution proposed for consent is Agenda Item 3, Resolution 2026-2183. Agenda Item 4, Resolution 2026-2184. Agenda Item 5, Resolution 2026-2185. Agenda Item 6, Resolution 2026-2186. Agenda Item 7, Resolution 2026-2187. Agenda Item 8, Resolution 2026-2188. Agenda Item 10, Resolution 2026-2190. Agenda Item 11, Resolution 2026-2191. Agenda Item 12, Resolution 2026-2192. Agenda Item 13, Resolution 2026-2193. Agenda Item 14, Resolution 2026-2194. Agenda Item 15, Resolution 2026-2195. Agenda Item 16, Resolution 2026-2196. Agenda Item 17, Resolution 2026-2197. Agenda Item 18, Resolution 2026-2198. Agenda Item 19, Resolution 2026-2199. Agenda Item 20, Resolution 2026-2200. Agenda Item 21, Resolution 2026-2201. Agenda Item 22, Resolution 2026-2202. Agenda Item 23, Resolution 2026-2203. Agenda item 24, Resolution 2026-2204. Agenda item 25, Resolution 2026-2205. Agenda item 26, Resolution 2026-2206. Agenda item 27, Resolution 2026-2207. Agenda item 29, Resolution 2026-2209. Agenda item 30, Resolution 2026-2210. Agenda item 31, Resolution 2026-2211. Agenda item 32, Resolution 2026-2212. Agenda item 33, Resolution 2026-2213. Agenda item 34, Resolution 2026-2214. Agenda item 35, Resolution 2026-2215. Agenda item 36, Resolution 2026-2216. Agenda item 37, Resolution 2026-2217. Agenda item 38, Resolution 2026-2218. Agenda item 39, Resolution 2026-2219. And agenda item 40, Resolution 2026-2220. Next, for bills on second reading proposed for the consolidated consent agenda. First among those is agenda item 65, ordinance BL 2026-1499. Agenda item 66, ordinance BL 2026-1500. Agenda item 67, ordinance BL 2026-1501. Agenda item 68, ordinance BL 2026-1502. And then lastly, on second reading, agenda item 69, ordinance BL 2026-1503. Now for bills on third reading proposed for the consent agenda. First among those, agenda item 70, ordinance BL 2026-1402. Agenda item 73, ordinance BL 2026-1406. Agenda item 74, ordinance BL 2026-1407. Agenda item 79, ordinance BL 2026-1430. Agenda item 80, ordinance BL 2026-1434. Agenda item 81, ordinance BL 2026-1464. Agenda item 82, ordinance BL 2026-1465. Agenda item 83, ordinance BL 2026-1468. Agenda item 84, ordinance BL 2026-1469. Agenda item 85, ordinance BL 2026-1470. Agenda item 86, ordinance BL 2026-1471. Agenda item 87, ordinance BL 2026-1472. Agenda item 88, ordinance BL 2026-1473. Agenda item 89, ordinance BL 2026-1474. Agenda item 90, ordinance BL 2026-1475. Agenda item 91, ordinance BL 2026-1476. Agenda item 92, ordinance BL 2026-1477. Agenda item 93, ordinance BL 2026-1478. Agenda item 96, ordinance BL 2026-1482. Agenda item 97, ordinance BL 2026-1483. Agenda item 98, ordinance BL 2026-1484. Agenda item 99, ordinance BL 2026-1485. Agenda item 100, ordinance BL 2026-1486. Agenda item 101, ordinance BL 2026-1487. Agenda item 102, ordinance BL 2026-1488. Agenda item 103, ordinance BL 2026-1492. Agenda item 104, ordinance BL 2026-1492. Agenda item 105, ordinance BL 2026-1494. Agenda item 106, ordinance BL 2026-1495. And then lastly, agenda item 107, ordinance BL 2026-1496. Do any items need to be removed from the consent agenda? If so, if members would please join the queue to request that. All right, Council Member Coupin, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Can we please remove item 16 for the purpose of an abstention?
Okay, agenda item 16, resolution 2196 will be removed from consent. All right, next, Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized, ma'am.
Yes, if we could please take agenda items 73 and 74.
Can you say the agenda item again?
BL 2026, 1406, and 1407.
Okay, 73 and 74. Okay. Okay, agenda items 73 and 74. These are ordinances 1406 and 1407 have been removed from consent. Next, Councilmember Vo, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. Can we please remove agenda item 40, RS 2026-2220, and agenda item 88, BL 2026-1473?
Okay, hang on. Agenda item 40, this is resolution 2220, will be removed from consent. And then after agenda item 40, what was next, please, Ms. Vo?
Yes, agenda item 88.
Okay.
BL 2026-14.
That's great. If y'all would give me the agenda number first, and then I will go there, and then I will actually share the ordinance number. That helps me, because when you do two at a time and then you read the ordinance number, it makes it a little bit hard to get there. So thank y'all. Okay, Ms. Vo, agenda item 88, ordinance 1473 has been removed from consent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Suara, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Agenda item number 39.
Agenda item 39, okay. That is resolution 2219.
Yes, ma'am.
Will be removed from consent. All right, is anyone else seeking to be recognized to remove an item from consent? Ms. Porterfield, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I just wanted to confirm that agenda item number 9, 2081, is not on consent.
Okay.
Saying a head nod that it's not on consent.
Okay, yes, agenda item 9 is not on consent. That's correct. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized again, ma'am.
Please forgive me. I left off agenda item 75.
No worries. Agenda item 75, which those are already off consent because there's a proposed amendment. So agenda items 75 and 76 are not on consent. That's okay. All right, Mr. Clerk, are all committee reports in for the items remaining on the consent agenda?
Yes, all committee reports are in.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, is there a motion for approval of the consent agenda? Okay, properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. All right, council has passed all items on the consent agenda. We will now go back in agenda order for those items that were not on consent. All right, and first among those is agenda item 1, resolution 2026-2132, sponsors Toombs, Evan Siegel, Hill, Benton, and Vo. This is a resolution accepting the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement with Sweeping Corporation of America, LLC, for street sweeping, sewer jetting, and hydro excavation for the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure. Ms. Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee reports. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval as amended, 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And for the report of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Chair Evan Siegel, you're recognized.
The Transportation and Infrastructure Committee recommended approval of the amendment, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting, and to approve as amended, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All righty. With that, it is back to you for a motion to get the bill before us, Ms. Toombs. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Toombs. Go ahead.
Move for approval.
All right. Is there a second? Okay. We're on to discussion, and first in the queue is Councilmember Allen. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move the amendment, please.
All right. Is there a second? Go ahead. Anything you want to share about the
brief
amendment?
explanation. This just adds an audit policy that I worked with J.D. Ling to get formalized, and appreciate the work that he did to make that be part of this bill.
All right. Ms. Hancock, do you seek to be recognized on the amendment specifically? Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion to amend? All right. Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, with that, Ms. Toombs, it's your intent to renew.
Move for approval as amended.
All right, thank you. Properly seconded. Discussion continues, and then first in the queue is Councilmember Hancock. You're recognized.
Thank you for recognizing me. I was wondering if this agreement would replace the street sweepers that we have purchased, including the aforenamed de Brumillion, de something. We had such a great public input in naming the street sweepers that I was just going to be disappointed if they were now out of work.
I think those are bike lane specific sweepers, Ms. Hancock, so I doubt that
they're the tiny mini sweepers?
Yes, they are skinny.
Thank you for the education,
Yes,
Vice Mayor.
okay. Anyone else, a sponsor on the bill, wanting to be recognized to explain anything further with Ms. Hancock's question? Seeing none, is there any further discussion on this motion to approve this resolution as amended? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, you have adopted this resolution as amended. And Demon Bruin, or however we say it, is very safe. Sweeping our bike lanes. Demon Bruin, okay. Alrighty, moving on. Agenda item 2, resolution 2026-2135, sponsor Toombs, Swara, Allen, and Coupin. This is a resolution approving an intergovernmental project agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and the Convention Center Authority of the Metro Government of Nashville and Davidson County relating to the financing and refinancing of the Music City Center. Council Member Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee report. Budget and Finance is already in.
Okay, yes, that was submitted last time with 10, 0, and 1. And so the current report would be from the Ad Hoc East Bank Committee, Chair Evan Siegel.
The Ad Hoc East Bank Committee, always a mouthful to say, recommended approval, 4 in favor, 3 against, and 0 not voting.
All right. With that, it's back to you for a motion on your bill, Ms. Toombs.
Move for approval.
All right. It's properly moved and seconded, and we are on to discussion. First in the queue is Councilmember Parker. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I assumed this was going to be deferred to track with the ordinance, but I guess it's not. My overall concern about this arrangement is how much money is being directed toward a $1 billion new convention center. It's widely recognized that the 2010 convention center arrangement kind of over-egged the omelet, capturing tons of excess revenue in that structure, not allowing it to be utilized to improve Nashville outside of the convention center. And I'm curious why we are doubling down on that model. You know, if you add up the revenue sources enumerated in this agreement, with a very conservative growth projections, we're looking at about $6 billion in revenue. I would say that if these revenues are growing at 1% to 2% as projected by finance, that would be like the most disastrous economy you could possibly imagine for Nashville across the life of this deal. That also assumes that there is no growth in hotel occupancy because we're building a second convention center. So realistically, those $6 billion that finance is projecting out is more likely to be $8 or $9 billion. This is to build a $1 billion new convention center. I'm afraid that we are doubling down on the mistakes of the past here, and I really just can't support this, and I would encourage my colleagues to vote no as well.
All right, next in the queue is Councilmember Evan Siegel. You're recognized.
Caught. Thank you, Madam President. I think what we have seen since the convention center deal was passed is a significant amount of excess funds sitting over at the convention center. And as a city, we've had to go to the convention center during budget crises with hat in hand and beg for them to make us whole with our own money. And so I think my colleague raises valid points. I would say that this deal in many ways makes that worse, because instead of us being able to go beg hat in hand for those funds to make our budget whole, those funds are actually going into a state-administered grant program, which will provide tax relief only to businesses within the TDZ. And I think if you sat down with most Nashvillians today and you said, would you like to help prop up just Broadway businesses after the tax raise we had to do so that we can build a bigger convention center and do that all at once, I think most of them would be appalled. Because what we hear over and over and over again from our constituents is that there is a lot of money downtown, and people out in the county don't feel the benefit of that money. That money stays downtown. And now it's not only going to stay downtown, but the downtown participants will not be paying the same taxes as everybody else. And that's welfare. It's corporate welfare that we as a city are agreeing to with this deal and with this refinancing scheme. And I can't, in good conscience, vote for that. I'm sure this will pass tonight, and I'm sure many people in here will decide they can support that. But I cannot sit here and support our tourist dollars, our residents' dollars, people's hardworking dollars going to prop up very profitable businesses when we can't even prop up residents in need because the state law doesn't allow us to do that.
All right, next in the queue is Councilmember Stiles. You're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I can't say that I am in love with this deal. However, I do think that there's this perception that the businesses downtown that make up the majority of our budget, we're somehow cutting them a break, when really the break is money that we are supposed to be distributing across the entire county. I think part of our problem is that we don't turn around and distribute it equitably across the entire county when we haven't. So yes, this is uncomfortable. Sounds like it might not be the greatest deal. We were certainly in a position like this last term when we were having a conversation about the stadium, but that other deal was horrible. And the new one is better. I'm going to vote yes for this, being uncomfortable, but I know that our bars downtown and our businesses downtown, they are helping us make money that goes to our programming. So we're not cutting people a break, because if those businesses go away, we will suffer as a whole city. And I'm not sure why we don't see that, because if they close, what businesses then produce that money for us to provide any programming for anyone? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stiles. Next in the queue is Councilmember Toombs. Madam Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I stand in support of this legislation. I understand that there are concerns regarding the amount of money that circulates downtown. I will say that we have always gotten money from the oh my gosh, TDZ.
I hear you.
We've always gotten the base amount that has always come back into the general fund. There is a net benefit, financial benefit to Metro with the changes that have been made to the state law. We still have the same revenue sources. It's still essentially the same setup because that's what the state law is. We can't change state law. We were able, through the changes in this recent session, we can remove the backstop that we have that puts Metro on the hook for the bonds for the convention center, for the Omni Hotel. We can remove that backstop. That increases our capacity to do the affordable housing bonds that we've been wanting to do. So it is a net benefit for Metro. I get it, folks don't want to see money circulating downtown, but I actually have to agree with Councilwoman Stiles that the money that we make downtown benefits the city as a whole and helps us to fund the things that we fund. A significant portion of what we fund comes from downtown. So this is a win-win for Metro, and I encourage my colleagues to support it.
Thank you, Ms. Toombs. Next in the queue is Councilmember Johnson. You're recognized, ma'am.
Previous question.
All right. Councilmember Johnson has called the previous question. This is a non-debatable motion. It requires 2/3 of those voting in the affirmative to end debate. We'll try it first by voice. Again, remember, it's number, not volume. If I can't ascertain it, we'll go to the machine. If you are in favor of the previous question, you want to end debate. All in favor of the previous question, please say aye. All against calling the question, please say no. Okay. Mr. Clerk, would you please put that on the board, please, sir? I think there was a little volume action happening over here, but in an abundance of caution. With all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Okay, the motion to call the question has failed. It does require 2/3 of those voting, with 24 voting in favor, 13 against. All right, so debate continues. Next in the queue is Councilmember Suara. You're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I rise in support of this bill. A lot of conversation went in budget yesterday, and also I hear the concerns from my colleagues and the skepticism about what this does and the money. But for those that were in finance yesterday, a couple of things were discussed, and that was the fact that the housing, social housing bond that we've been trying to do all this time, we will be able to do it because of the backstop. I shared before with many of you that the deal was like that when it started. It was not good to start with. I agree with my colleagues. And we could have gone and make a better deal. We could have gone and asked for money to put elsewhere. We did not. But the deal that was in front of us is the deal that is in front of us. Now, I also want people to understand that when you're talking about sales tax, 7% of our sales tax belong to the state. Ours is only 2.75. And so if we're not, the state is allowing us to keep that in there. The hotel tax is part of it, but the sales tax is a big point of it. And when we did the conversation with budget the other day, the finance also shows that because of this, we are getting net money into our general fund as well. So it is a net benefit. We don't trust the state. We don't know how the money will be used, yes. But I believe that yesterday we got a commitment from the finance director that when we save money and from not supporting this bond anymore, that we will be able to put that money in housing. We were also told and we also asked that we have the opportunity to now distribute that 300 that we're not spending on the East Bank to make sure that it goes all around the city throughout the county. So we have the opportunity to do that. We've never been able to do that before. When we were in financial crisis, our first time, it took a lot for the director to be able to get 20 million out of that thing because it was the state money, it was the way that it was drawn. I've always hoped that we would get money out of there. So for me, the fact that we're able to get 300 million out, I think is a win. I wish it's structured differently. Yes, I agree. Maybe it should have been structured for housing or something else. I agreed. But the fact that we can take that out, I want us to look at it as when we take it out and we're not using our money to fund the back infrastructure, that money is now available for us to put wherever we deem it fit to put it in. And that backstop for anybody that is interested in funding and things like that, when you are backstopping somebody else's bonds and debt, it means that if they don't pay it, we have to pay it. That is something that we should never sign up for. It's like guaranteeing your kid's car. And then if they don't pay, you have to be on the hook for it. We don't want to do that. And so this is an opportunity for us to get out of that and not be the one signing up or responsible for the bond if it's not paid. So with all of that, yes, I'm skeptical, but we got the promise that we can move it somewhere else. And the fact that we'll be able to do all of this with that is the reason why I'm supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Suara. Next is Councilmember Porterfield. Madam Pro Tem, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I don't know if I'm rising in support or opposition. I've really struggled with this, and thank you to Finance and Director Reed for spending so much time with me going through this. I think we spent almost 2 hours going through this with a fine-tooth comb because I wanted to make sure that I considered all things. There are things about this I like, things about it that I don't like. Just wanted to be really transparent. But I think for something that is this big, like it's important that we get some of this information on the record so that our constituents can kind of know like what we're dealing with here. I don't love the idea. I guess it's both a benefit and the opposite of a benefit, whatever that word would be. The idea of like 300 million going to East Bank. In essence, that frees up more money to do things like across the city. And we're saying that we want to be able to use those bonds to be able to get affordable housing, which is something that many of us want across the board. It's something that we've been advocating for. But it does feel like trickle-down economics. It feels like, let's put money over here. Let's free up this money for East Bank so that we can have money for other things. We know that's not going to be a dollar for dollar. So we know that that's not going to be 300 million that we're seeing going to these affordable housing bonds or going into neighborhoods. I do like that it's freeing up the backstop. I do like that it will free up money for the affordable housing bonds. I do have a concern that if we vote this down, the money just sits there and we're not getting the benefit out of it. I did ask questions about these taxes. Like if we vote this down, like can we use this tax money for something else? But these taxes, like the room occupancy tax and the rental car fee and the hotel tax, these are taxes that are imposed by the state, meaning the state says where these tax dollars go. So we don't have the ability to come in and say, hey, we're going to use that for affordable housing or we're going to use it for schools. Like we can't redirect those revenue streams elsewhere. You know, if we do vote it down, we're not getting any benefit out of it. If we pass it, we at least get the benefit of the 300 million. And I don't want to say at least because 300 million is a lot of money. That's like nothing to sneeze at. It's also some other benefits that we are looking at, like saving the general fund, the 91 million over the 16 years until 2043 and preserving the capital spending plan. So I don't love it, but I do think that it gives us more benefit to pass it than if we don't pass it. I'm also concerned that if we vote it down, we still don't get, we still can't allocate these funds the way that we want to allocate the funds. We're always talking about wanting to get money out of the convention center. This has been the only way that we're going to be able to get meaningful dollars out of the convention center. And lastly, I'm not convinced that the convention center needs expanding at this point. So I also have Councilmember Parker's concern there.
Thank you, Ms. Porterfield. Next in the queue is Councilmember Bradford. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. When I ran in 2019, one of the things I ran on was the evils of the TDC and the amount of money that just stays downtown and doesn't come out into our neighborhoods. Tonight, I'm voting in favor of this because of the data that I've seen, the information I've seen. Like we've heard tonight, the TDC was not really a positive thing for the city. There's a lot of money that we couldn't use. If we vote this down, there's still money we can't use. If we vote this up, then we free up tax, bond issuance. I don't like it when we have any deal that has a Metro backstop. Because as I mentioned before, if something goes south, we, the taxpayers, are responsible for paying that bill. This takes that responsibility off the taxpayers. That's a good thing. It frees up the ability for Metro to issue bonds for capital projects elsewhere in the city instead of the East Bank. That's good for our communities outside of downtown. Is this the best deal we could have gotten? No. Is it perfect? No. But it is slightly better than what we had before, which was nothing. We are getting some benefit out of this. And for that, I'm willing to support this, considering my previous opinions on this area.
Thank you, Mr. Bradford. Next in the queue, Councilmember Johnston. No. Yeah. There's no more left in the, no one else left in the queue. Alrighty. With that, and knowing that we have some no votes already declared from the floor, we will need to vote by machine, as this is a resolution. So, Mr. Clerk, would you please load the vote, sir? With all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right. Council has adopted this resolution with 31 votes in favor, 6 votes against, and 0 abstentions. All right. Next on the agenda is agenda item 9. Resolution 2026-2189, sponsors Cortez and Ellis. This is a resolution requesting that WeGo Public Transit expand the Journey Pass program or provide a similar low or fare-free program to residents in the Music City Construction Careers Program. Councilmember Cortez, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
For the report of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Chair Evan Siegel, you're recognized.
The Transportation and Infrastructure Committee recommended a 1-meeting deferral, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, and with that, Mr. Cortez, that is mandatory deferral by Rule 8.1. So that is deferred 1 meeting. This will be taken up again at the first meeting in September. Next is agenda item 16, resolution 2026-2196, sponsors Vo, Toombs, Welsh, Gadd, Ellis, Allen, and Swara. This is a resolution appropriating a total of $71,900 from the Nashville Public Library to Water Walkers for the provision of free and high-quality after-school and summer programming through the library's Nashville After Zone Alliance after-school and out-of-school time coordinating system. Councilmember Vo, you're recognized, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports. I can give mine.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
All right. The Apple Committee voted 5 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right. And for the report of the Budget and Finance Committee, Chair Toombs.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right. Okay, with that, Ms. Vo, it's back to you for a motion.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Okay. There's a motion properly seconded. Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? Okay, Mr. Coupin, Mr. Clerk, if you would please record him as an abstention, please, sir. All right, this resolution has been adopted. Okay, next. Among our resolutions is agenda item 28, resolution 2026-2208, sponsors Toombs and Evan Siegel. This is a resolution accepting the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement with Altech Industries, Inc. for public utility equipment with related accessories and supplies for the Nashville DOT. Ms. Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you. Withdraw.
Okay, this resolution will be withdrawn. Or has been withdrawn. All right. Next is agenda item 39, resolution 2026-2219, sponsors Swara, Coupin, Gamble, Evans, Huffman, Stiles, Bradford, Ellis, Porterfield, Vo, Welsh, Johnston, Nash, Rutherford, Benedict, Ewing, Lee, Cap, Gadd, Gregg, Hancock, and Allen. This is a resolution commending and honoring Brenda Wynn upon her retirement from the office of the Davidson County Clerk. Councilmember Swara, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Yes, for the report of the Rules Confirmations Committee, Chair Cash, you recognize, sir.
We voted to approve, 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right, back to you, Ms. Swara.
Thank you. I'd like to renew my motion, and I want to add 12.3 to it, and then a brief explanation or brief comment.
Okay, so there is a motion to approve with 3 applied, such that all members voting in the affirmative will be listed as co-sponsors. Is there a second for that motion? All right, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is a very important one for me. I mean, you can tell by the co-sponsors that we have already. Ms. Brenda Wynn has touched a lot of people in this city with the work that she did as the county clerk. She was the first African-American woman to be a constitutional officer, and she's brought a lot of changes to that office, from using numbers to the kiosk. I mean, when you go into that office, it's working a whole lot better. But what I love Ms. Brenda about is that all the community organizations that she's a part of, and how much she actually loves this city and how many things she's done. There's hardly anything important going on that she doesn't have a hand in. And she's usually one of those people that is in the background. You don't see her in the front a lot, but she does a whole lot for the community. And so it is my pleasure to bring this resolution to thank her for 14 years of service in that office. I mean, she's done more and she continues to do more. And I know she will continue even after retirement. But I think it's worthwhile for us to just rise and thank somebody who was a servant leader and who opened the doors for so many and continues to serve in so many ways, not just in a public office, but throughout the city. And with that, I renew my motion.
Thank you, Ms. Swara. I appreciate you bringing this. Next in the queue is Councilmember Porterfield. Madam Pro Tem, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I actually got teary-eyed listening to Councilmember Swara and getting ready to stand up and speak. The Honorable Brenda Wynn has just been a force in her heart for this city and her service for this city. Like Councilmember Swara said, she has had her hands in so many things with regards to this city and has supported so many initiatives, so much of that behind the scenes. You may never see her face or her name on it, but her footprint is on it, and her fingerprint is on it, and she has touched just so many initiatives in this city. She truly is a statesman or a stateswoman and knows how to work across the aisles and work with all people to just further the agenda of Nashville and for the people in Nashville. She is so dedicated to this position. She loves the service that she has done during her time and her tenure as the county clerk. She has made so many improvements to this office. Whenever you go to the office, I was just there recently. I had to get some tags, and every time I'm down there, just the efficiency, the way that people are moving through the office quickly, how happy the employees are, and you could just see all of the improvements that she's made. So we just want to congratulate her on her retirement and just thank her for her service to the city.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Next, Councilmember Benedict, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I can't say anything better than what my colleagues have already said, but I do want to tell a quick story about our about Brenda. I'm just going to call her Brenda here on the floor, the Honorable Brenda Wynn. Long before I wanted to run for office, I asked a woman to marry me, and she said yes. And then we went a few months later down to the county clerk's office to get the paperwork. And while we got the paperwork, I was my normal, rowdy self. And there's Brenda, and she comes out, and she said, oh, so what are your plans? And, just really engaged with me. And I said, will you marry us? And she said, absolutely. And she said, when? And I said, oh gosh, we got to pick a date. And my wife and I don't know if it's November 21 or 26. We've got to write it down somewhere. We never know every year. But it's on the paperwork that she gave us and that she signed. And she went over to the, she said, where do you want to do it and when? And we said, how about the pedestrian bridge? And she said, absolutely, I'll be there. Now, I was just a member of the public. I was not an elected official. I walked in her office and she said, I'm on it. Let's do it. And she went and she did it. And we've got photos. And it was just we eloped. But Brenda was there. And that's who she is. And I'll forever be grateful for that memory. And of course, all of the work that she's done for the city. And, in her official capacity and in her other official capacities with the organizations with which she works. So thank you, Brenda. Kathleen Murphy and I were texting, and so I wanted to invoke the Murphy rule because I know she equally respects the Honorable Brenda Wynn, but I know that Councilmember Suara already used our existing title for that. But in honor of the Honorable Kathleen Murphy, I would like to invoke the Murphy rule, but I don't know if anybody seconded the 13.2.
So that was already a part of Ms. Suarez's initial motion, and it was properly seconded. So,
well, I've said what I've said, and so if the Honorable Kathleen Murphy is watching.
Did Kathleen threaten you by text and tell you if you didn't say it? No, I'm kidding.
Right, maybe. That would be in character. Thank you.
We appreciate her authoring that rule during her time of service. So it is applied to this resolution. And thank you for sharing that story, Ms. Benedict. Okay, Councilmember Vo, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And I'm so glad I can continue on with Councilmember Benedict's love story because today I had the greatest privilege of marrying a couple in my district. And we were talking about, them going to the county clerk's office, and they were so excited to submit their marriage license. And I do want to thank the Honorable Brenda Wynn for making sure that all the love that, happens here in Nashville is recorded. And it's been such a privilege. And I will say, when I was running for office, and she was always so kind. And everywhere you see her in the city, wherever you are, whether official or not, she's always, I think, willing to help, always wanting to be a partner, always wanting to make sure that all of us, can make sure that our city continues to be led by great people. And she has been such a great example to so many of us. So I just want to congratulate her on her retirement. And I love that it's very fitting. Oh, that
you have a musical track for
that today on that we get to honor her in the chambers, that we were able to also I was able to also marry a couple in the district. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Vo. All right, that concludes our discussion. All in favor of this resolution, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Of course not. All right, council has adopted this resolution. And again, congratulations to the Honorable Brenda Wynn. Next is agenda item 40. Resolution 2026-2220, sponsors Vo, Stiles, Coupin, Nash, Gadd, Suara, Cap, Webb, Druffel, Huffman, Toombs, Ellison, Allen. This is a resolution recognizing the 40th anniversary of the Master Gardeners of Davidson County. Councilmember Vo, you are recognized, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam President. Can I have committee reports, please?
Yes, for the report of the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee, Chair Cash. Go ahead,
We
sir.
vote We voted to approve, 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All righty, back to you, Ms. Vo.
Thank you. Motion to approve with a brief comment.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, it's my pleasure to be able to celebrate this really special milestone, the 40th anniversary of the Master Gardeners of Davidson County. For 4 decades, this wonderful organization has shared knowledge, encouraged a love of gardening, supported our community, and helped make Middle Tennessee a more beautiful place. This anniversary is really an wonderful opportunity to recognize the dedication and passion of all the volunteers, past and present, who have made the Master Gardeners such a valued part of our community. This past year, I had the privilege of being part of the most recent class where you're trained with 40 hours of horticultural classes, and then you have 40 hours of volunteer community service. And I really encourage anyone in the community who's interested in applying to do that for the next Master Gardener class. And there's even, more to look forward to. This year, the Master Gardeners will have a beautiful butterfly exhibit at the Nashville Fair. That's going to run from September 11th through the 20th. And it's a wonderful chance for families and for visitors to learn more about butterflies, gardening, and the importance of creating habitats that support beautiful pollinators. So under the leadership of Amy Dunlap and Karen Brown, I really just want to congratulate the Master Gardeners of Davidson County on 40 remarkable years of service, and that may the next 40 be just as inspiring, educational, and fun. So happy 40th anniversary to the Master Gardeners of Davidson County. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vo. We're on to discussion. Councilmember Huffman, you're recognized, sir.
Just to follow that up really quick, if you don't have pollinators on your property, why not? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman, for that important reminder. I'm sure the Master Gardeners appreciate it as much as we appreciate them. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, council has adopted this resolution. Next is agenda item L1, a late filed resolution without a number so far, sponsor Horton. This is a resolution authorizing the Director of Public Property or his designee to exercise option agreements for the purchase of a flood-prone property located at 716 Height Street for Metro Water Services. Councilmember Horton, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move to suspend the rules, please.
Okay. Chair Cash, did you take up Mr. Horton's resolution regarding Height Street, sir?
Yes, we did, and we approved of the late filed nature, 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right. Having heard the report of Chair Cash, are there any objections to the suspension of the rules? Seeing none, the rules are suspended. Go ahead, Mr. Horton.
Move for approval, please.
Is there a second? Okay. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. Council has adopted this resolution. All right. Okay. Section M of our agenda is bills on introduction and first reading. By rule, all items on first reading shall be voted on at the same time unless requested otherwise by a primary sponsor or by 2 other members. Do any items need to be removed from the collective first reading vote? Seeing none, is there a motion for approval of all items on first consideration? Okay, properly seconded without objection. You have approved all items on first reading. All right, next is agenda section N. We have 2 late bills numbered first N1, an ordinance, sponsor Coupin, that approves an access easement agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Department of Water and Sewerage Services and MPLX Terminals, LLC, for a permanent easement. Councilmember Coupin, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Move to suspend the rules, please.
All right. Councilmember Cash, you are recognized, sir, on the late filed nature.
We voted to approve the late filed nature, 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, members, having heard the report of Chair Cash, is there any objection to the suspension of the rules? Seeing none, the rules are suspended. Mr. Coupin, go ahead.
Thank you. Move approval, please.
Is there a second? Okay. There's a motion to approve. It's properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this ordinance has now passed its first reading. Next is agenda item N2, sponsor Toombs. This is an ordinance authorizing the rounding of ad valorem property tax amounts and Central Business Improvement District special assessment amounts to the nearest dollar. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Request to suspend the rules.
All right, Councilmember Cash, for your report, please, sir, on the late filed nature.
We did hear it. We approved of the late filed nature, 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right, council members, having heard the report of Chair Cash on the late file nature, is there any objection to the suspension of the rules? Seeing none, the rules are suspended. Go ahead, Ms. Toombs.
Move for approval.
Is there a second? Okay, it's properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this bill now on its first reading? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this ordinance has passed its first of 3 readings. Next, we move on to bills on second reading, section O of our agenda. First item is agenda item 62, ordinance BL 2026-1437, sponsors Webb, Coopin, Evans, Bradford, Allen, Ellis, Benton, and Hancock. This is an ordinance requiring that all boards, commissions, committees, and authorities of the metropolitan government with financial authority or a fiduciary duty record and make publicly available the proceedings of their meetings. Councilmember Webb, you are recognized, ma'am.
It got withdrawn.
Wait, you need to say that you are withdrawing it.
I'm withdrawing it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, this bill has been withdrawn by the primary sponsor. Next is agenda item 63, ordinance BL 2026-1493, sponsors Toombs and Coopin. This is an ordinance amending certain sections of the Metro Code of Laws relating to the apportionment, distribution, and allocation of revenues from tourist accommodation taxes to comply with the provisions of Public Chapter Number 1079 of the 2026 Public Acts of Tennessee, and to extend the levy and collection of the additional hotel occupancy privilege tax in accordance with applicable state law. Okay, Ms. Toombs, Madam Chair, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Okay, we already have in the report of the Budget and Finance Committee from last meeting, 11-0-0, and now for the report of the Ad Hoc East Bank Committee, Chair Evan Siegel, you are recognized.
The Ad Hoc East Bank Committee recommended approval, 4 in favor, 3 against, and 0 not voting.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, it's back to you, Ms. Toombs, for a motion.
Move for approval.
Is there a second? Okay, it's properly moved and seconded, and we're on to discussion. First in the queue is Councilmember Parker. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to call attention to the fact that, we talk a lot about the tourism development zone. Of the revenue sources that contribute to this convention funding, the TDZ is not even half of that. And the state portion of the TDZ is, like a 7 to 2 ratio, basically. So, a lot of assertions are made about, how much control the state should have based on their share of the TDZ. But really, the funding sources that we are reauthorizing with this proposed legislation make up the lion's share of the funding. These are countywide taxes that are levied within Davidson County. There is no state portion of these, and these do make up the bulk of the financing that would go toward the convention center. And again, the way that the state has it set up, the benefits of these funds are in many cases, not in every case, but in many cases are restricted to a certain geographic area, which is the TDZ. So we're collecting taxes. You stay in a hotel in Goodlettsville in Davidson County, you're paying taxes that'll go to support the Broadway bailout in the TDZ, but not for a struggling business in Goodlettsville. I just don't think it's fair. I think this is a terrible arrangement, and I'll be voting against this.
All right. Next in the queue is is there any further discussion on this item that is on its second of 3 readings? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Okay. And any abstaining? Okay. Colleagues, this is on its second of 3 readings. Hearing no votes and understanding that there will be on the third and final reading, we will go on the boards and record that vote. But the ayes have it at this juncture, and so this moves on to its third reading at our next meeting. Okay. Next is agenda item 64. This is ordinance BL 2026-1498. Sponsors Sepulveda, Horton, Benedict, Swara, Welsh, Gad, Vo, Porterfield, Harrell, Evans, Siegel, Coopin, and Parker. This is an ordinance amending section 13.08.080 of the Metro Code of Laws relative to the use of unmanned aircraft systems and surveillance technology. Councilmember Sepulveda, you are recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Okay, for the report of the Public Health and Safety Committee, Chair Huffman, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Health and Safety recommended this approved as substituted, as amended with the late file, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Right. Okay, that is its single committee report, and so then it's back to you, Ms. Sepulveda, for a motion to get this bill before us.
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. You have the floor, Ms. Sepulveda.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I do have a substitute and a late filed amendment to the substitute.
Why don't you move that substitute first, is what I would suggest.
Move the substitute.
Okay, there is a motion to substitute. It's properly seconded. Is there anything you want to share about the substitute?
Yes. So colleagues, the substitute does a couple of things, right? We heard, and I'm repeating a couple of things that were said in committee, but not everyone was there. So there was a bit of concern from different departments in regards to what their current drones do. So for example, Metro Water has drones that take a look at pipes. Some departments use drones in their communications to take video and then post that video. So we wanted to make sure that we were not going to conflict with that. And so this substitute specifically addresses the drones as first responder pilot program. It also requires that there be a public hearing whenever there is a pilot program. Even before I was on council, the body before many of us were seated had a specific requirement that there be a public hearing when a new surveillance technology was brought forward, regardless if a contract was approved or not, to give the general public an opportunity to speak and give their thoughts. And so I wanted to make sure that we codified that, and there are specific regulations into what a drone as a first responder can be used as. There are 4. So one is an active shooter incident, a hostage situation, an active search for a missing person, and that was added due in large part to some conversations on this floor. And then the last one is for a state of emergency declared by the mayor of Nashville for a period of up to 10 days. And this is mainly for natural disasters, so if there's a flood or something, etc. So we also added 2 new items in which we made sure to take out autonomous drones. So some people had some questions in regards to this. So this would eliminate the use of drones that are not manned by a physical person, so a drone manned by AI. So Metro would not be able to use this type of drone. So this would not affect private drones, just Metro drones manned by AI. And then we also remove facial recognition from all Metro departments, and currently no Metro departments use facial recognition. So that is what the substitute does. And with that, I would like to move to suspend the rules. Nope.
No, we have to vote on your substitute
And with that,
first.
I would
Okay.
like to ask for your support. We worked on this quite a bit, going back and forth with community members, different departments, and
Okay.
I would ask for your support.
All right. There is a motion to substitute with the sponsor's substitute. It was properly seconded, and you have heard the description of that substitute by the sponsor. Is there any discussion on the motion to substitute with Ms. Sepulveda's substitute? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Okay. One no vote on the motion to substitute. Any abstentions? One abstention there from Ms. Stiles. Okay. So the substitute is on the bill. Ms. Sepulveda, do you seek to renew your motion to approve as substituted?
Yes, I renew my motion.
Okay. To approve as substitute. Is there a second? Okay, that's where we are in the debate. You do still have the floor, ma'am, because there's nobody else in the queue seeking to be recognized at this time. So I heard you say that you have a late filed amendment.
Yes, I'd like to move to suspend the rules.
Okay. Mr. Cash, Mr. Chair, I understand that you took up this substitute.
We did.
Go ahead, sir.
We approved of the late filed nature, 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Having heard the report of Chair Cash and members having received this amendment, I think about 2 o'clock today regarding a typographical error, is there any objection to suspension of the rules? Seeing none, the rules are suspended. So you may offer this amendment if you wish to do so, Ms. Sepulveda.
Move for approval with a brief comment.
Okay, is there a second? All right, go ahead, ma'am.
This just fixes a typo in that last section 5 L2. So just fixing some typo. So I would just ask for your approval.
All right. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right. Ms. Sepulveda, is it your intent to renew your motion
Renew my motion.
approve as substituted and as amended? That's properly seconded, and discussion continues at this time. Next in the queue is Councilmember Suara. You're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I want to thank my colleague for bringing this legislation. I think that we all have to understand the purpose of it and what it serves. I will say that the weekend of the drone testing, I had no idea it was community members that are tracking things like this that called and said, you know, this was happening. And I think as a government, we are responsible for making sure that, you know, we are transparent, we're open, and people know what's going on. We have a rule in the book that says that any surveillance technology has to be approved by council and it has to go through public hearing. That did not happen in this case. And so the purpose of this, which I'm glad that she brought, makes sure that that loophole, I don't even know if it's a loophole, but there's no way to circumvent the rules that we have in the books. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm also happy that, you know, she's worked tirelessly with departments to make sure that they know unintended consequences to other departments. It doesn't affect private people. But as our police that are building trust with our community, that are saying that we're here, that we want to make sure we're not being surveilled, we want to make sure that anytime there's a technology that has a surveillance component to it, that is actually discussed by us, that we make sure that the parameters around it, people said they've looked at what is collected and there's so many discrepancies there, but that we never had the opportunity to even know what that is. And so I'm grateful for that, for this legislation, because it makes sure that we're doing our work and that the police is coming to us anytime the surveillance is being used and the community has the opportunity to say something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Suara. Next in the queue is Councilmember Huffman. Mr. Chair, you're recognized, sir.
I'm just here to call previous question, but nobody follows me.
Yeah, we're not going to do that because there's nobody else in the queue. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, there is a motion to approve on second reading as substituted and amended. It's properly seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Okay, Ms. Hancock, any abstaining? Pardon, Mr. Mr. Eastlick is also a no, and Ms. Stiles is an abstention. Okay, again, colleagues, the ayes have it. This is a bill on its second of 3 readings. It will be on its third and final reading at the next meeting, the first meeting in September. All right, now we are on to bills on third reading. First among those are companion bills. But Mr. Parker, if you would please move the first among these paired bills, your 71 and 72, because 71 will need that amendment. So let me, if I can, read it into the record. Agenda item 71, ordinance BL 2026-1403, sponsor Parker. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metro government by amending a specific plan for various properties located west of Gallatin Avenue, east of Emmett Avenue, south of McClurkin Avenue, and north of Douglas Avenue. These are zoned SP, and changing the zoning on properties from RS5, CS, and OR20 to SP. This is 19.09 acres to permit a mixed-use development, all of which is described herein. Go ahead, sir, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. For the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Horton, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. P&Z considered the bill and an amendment. We voted for approval of the amendment, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And as for the bill as amended, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. All righty. It's back to you for a motion. Mr. Parker, first for 1403, and then once it's amended, we presume, then you can combine it with 1404, its companion, to advance it together. So go ahead, sir.
Wonderful. I'll move 1403 for the purposes of moving my amendment.
Okay, properly seconded. Go ahead, sir.
I will move the amendment.
Okay. Anything you want to share about the amendment?
Just very briefly, this amendment does 3 things. It requires NDOT to evaluate the signal timing. What we're doing here is we're likely signalizing a new realigned intersection very close to the intersection of Douglas and Gallatin. We want to make sure that we're not recreating the Speedway double untimed signal scenarios. So we want to make sure that those are synchronized and smart, and that NDOT is involved with that process and that everything's good there. It also it formalizes something that has been asked a lot about improving the kind of landscaping and open space around the Renraw Mansion, which is being relocated. There's already been a little bit of progress there. If you look on the development tracker, you'll see that they replotted the parcel that the Renraw house is going to sit on. And, you know, they don't have a tenant yet. They don't have exactly final plans for build out yet, but we do hope that this condition being formalized is going to yield kind of a more inviting atmosphere around the mansion there. And then the last thing it does, you know, in the plan, there is a depiction of how many townhomes and how many freestanding homes, but it's not enumerated. It's only sort of drawn and sketched out. So we thought it was important to set a floor that at least 40% of the units in the residential portion behind the mansion, at least 40% of those units are going to be attached townhome product or similar plex, whatever, but some kind of attached product, and that no more than 60% of the units in that area would be detached single-family house style units. So those are the 3 things this amendment does. I would ask colleagues to support it and happy to answer any questions.
All right. There is a motion to amend. It was properly seconded, and you have heard a description of the amendment by the sponsor. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. Mr. Parker, at this time with the amendment on the bill, if you would like to renew your motion to approve 1403 as amended along with approval of 1404, which is the companion bill to 1403 that requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of the buildings, you may do so, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So moved.
All right. Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. You have passed these ordinances as amended on their third and final reading. Next are agenda items 73 and 74. They are companions to each other. Agenda item 73 sponsors Lee our sponsor Lee is an ordinance BL 2026-1406 to amend Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR2A to SP zoning for properties located at 5601, 5621 Cane Ridge Road unnumbered, 1314 Old Franklin Road. This is 42.2 acres to permit 79 multifamily residential units and 100 single-family residential lots. And again, 74, agenda item, ordinance 1407, which is the companion to 1406, which requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings at all of the addresses in 1406. Councilmember Lee, you're recognized, ma'am.
If I am permitted, I would like to move both of these together.
Yes, ma'am, you may.
I would like to move both of these together with a brief comment.
Okay, there is a motion to approve 1406 and 1407. It's properly seconded. Go ahead, please, ma'am.
Yes, I hope you all paid attention. One of the builders was in the public.
Oh, I'm sorry. We needed your committee reports, ma'am. I apologize.
I'm sorry. Committee reports, please.
Thank you, Chair Horton.
I felt left out. Planning and zoning recommended approval of both companion bills, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you for the report. Typically, we get that before we make the motion, but we're just going to roll on ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. One of the builders of this spoke in the public comment, and I hope that you heard the things that his company was volunteering to help with the community. We have had several meetings. I don't want to say several meetings. I want to say a lot of meetings on this type of property, and he is still open to and discussing with some of the residents that had some problems with the buildings, some of the things that they could do for their property to help things go smoothly. They have been very open to doing things and have also been open to seeing what they can do to help improve the whole community. And so I would like to ask, please, for your commitment and approval for this, and I renew my motion.
Okay, there is a motion to approve 1406 and 1407. It was properly seconded in a consolidated motion. Is there any discussion on these bills, companion bills? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? Does the person voting no perhaps want to abstain instead so we don't have to go on the boards? All right. With that, Mr. Clerk, because these are on their third and final reading and we have a no vote, we do have to go on the boards. If you would please load the vote, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Coupin, are you seeking to vote, sir? All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Okay, these bills have passed their third and final reading with 33 votes in favor, 1 vote against, and 1 abstention. All right. Next are agenda items 75 and 76. They are companions to each other. Again, sponsors Lee and Hill. Agenda item 75 is ordinance BL 2026-1411. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by changing from AR2A to SP zoning for property located at 13181 Old Hickory Boulevard at the corner of Old Hickory Boulevard and Twin Oaks Lane. This is 4.97 acres to permit a mixed-use development. Councilmember Lee, seeing that you have an amendment for 1411, after you get your committee report, we can get the report on both, but I'll need you just to move 1411 for purposes of amendment, and then we can reconsolidate them, okay? Go ahead, ma'am, you're recognized.
I would like to request committee reports, please.
For the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Horton, you're recognized, sir.
We recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. All right. It's back to you, Ms. Lee, for a motion on 1411 first, please, ma'am.
I would like to request to move this for the purposes of adding an amendment.
Okay. Is there a second? All right. The bill is before us, and now you can move your amendment, Ms. Lee.
I would like to move my amendment on this with, I guess, a slight comment.
All right. Is there a second to the motion to amend? All right. Properly seconded. Go ahead, ma'am.
I would like to ask for your support in approving this. The amendment has to do with some items that came out in our community meeting. We have had a community meeting with this. We also had one actually last night, and we had TDOT and Water there also meeting with some community members to talk about how different things could be done to help in the community and help with this particular project. TDOT has been very open and committed to continued help with us on this, and the developers of this also continue to remain open and listen to constituents and work with them to try to get things done. They likewise have also promised to do some things in some yards or some private property around to try to make things a little better. So I would like to ask for your approval of this. And Madam Chair, since this had an amendment, we cannot take both of these together now, correct?
Correct. So where,
to ask for,
where
if you will move and approve my amendment going on 2026-1411, please.
yes, ma'am. So what is before us at present is just a motion to approve of 1411. And there now is a motion to amend, properly seconded already. And you've heard a description of that amendment from Ms. Lee. So is there any further discussion specifically on the motion to amend? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. At this juncture, Ms. Lee, I would ask if you seek to renew your motion to approve 1411 as amended, along with its companion 1412, which requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings of all the addresses in 1411.
Yes, I would like to do that, and I won't repeat it again since you
can just say
did.
so moved. All right. Is there a second on that? Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve 1411 as amended, along with its companion 1412? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? Ms. Stiles, are you an abstention? Any other abstentions? Okay, one abstention. This has passed its third and final reading as amended.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Next is agenda item 77. This is ordinance BL 2026-1416, sponsor Webb. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by applying a contextual overlay district to various properties along Shepherd Hills Drive and Twin Hills Drive, southeast of Gallatin Pike. This is zoned R20. This is 137.6 acres. Ms. Webb, you are recognized, ma'am.
Committee reports?
Yep, for the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Horton, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval, 5 in favor, 2 against, 1 not voting.
All right, thank you, Chair Horton. It's back to you, Ms. Webb, for a motion to get this bill before us.
I would like to move for approval just with a small comment.
Okay, is there a second? Go ahead, ma'am.
As council members, we are elected to work with our constituents on what's best for our neighborhoods. This shouldn't be controversial. This is simple contextual overlay. And as stated before, contextual overlay does not affect density. I'm asking my colleagues to help me do what is supported by my community as the best option for us to protect a wonderful, charmed, and affordable housing area in my district. Thank you.
All right. There is a motion to approve. It's been properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Okay. As this is a disapproved bill by the Planning Commission, it requires 27 votes and a roll call by rule. So seeing no additional debate or discussion, Mr. Clerk, I would ask that you please load the vote for ordinance 1416, please, sir. Colleagues, this requires 27 votes for passage. With all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, this ordinance has passed its third and final reading with 29 votes in favor, 3 against, and 1 abstention. Next, also a sponsor web, is agenda item 78, ordinance BL 2026-1420. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by applying a contextual overlay district to various properties along Cumberland Hills Drive and Northside Drive, south of Gallatin Pike, zoned RS40. This is 68.2 acres. Ms. Webb, you are recognized.
I'd like to move for approval with the same speech.
Okay.
I don't think I have to repeat it, though.
First, we need to get the report. We need to first get the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee. Chair Horton, for your report, please, on 1420.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommend approval, 5 in favor, 2 against, 1 not voting.
Okay, with that report in, you may now move approval.
Okay, move for approval, but I won't say it again. Same speech.
Okay. And properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Again, this was disapproved by the Planning Commission, so by rule, on its third and final vote, it requires 27 votes and a roll call. So with that, Mr. Clerk, if you would please load the vote. All right, with all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, this ordinance has passed its third and final reading with 30 votes in favor, 3 votes against, and 0 abstentions. Okay, next on our agenda is agenda item 88. This is ordinance BL 2026-1473, sponsor Vo. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from RS5 to MUNANS zoning for property located at 1212 Villa Place, approximately 320 feet south of Edge Hill Avenue. This is 0.28 acres and within the Edge Hill Neighborhood Conservation Overlay District. Councilmember Vo, you're recognized, ma'am. Oh, does someone else? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gadd, for your willingness there. No worries. It's all good. Ms. Vo, I have read this into the record, and it is now time to ask for your committee reports.
Thank you. Committee reports, please.
Chair Horton for the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, with that committee report in, it's back to you, Ms. Vo, for a motion to get the bill before us.
Thank you. Move to approve with a brief comment.
Okay. Is there a second? I heard it. Motion to approve properly seconded. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. I just want to make a comment on this specific rezoning because it's been consistent with the surrounding land use pattern and established policies. The property is surrounded by commercially zoned parcels, making this a logical and compatible transition rather than an isolated change. I know we've had conversations with my constituents, and I let them know that I would comment on this, that I also support moving forward with the assurance that this decision is made, that's not being viewed as a slippery slope, but, that each rezoning is always evaluated on its own merits and the surrounding context and consistency with its adopted policies. So I just want to put that into the record. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that, Ms. Vo. All right, is there any further discussion on the motion to approve this ordinance on its third and final reading? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this bill has passed its third and final reading. Next is agenda item 94, and it has a companion 95, sponsor Hancock. The first among those is 1479. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws, a zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by changing from RS 7.5 to SP zoning for the properties located at 515 Anderson Lane, and Anderson Lane unnumbered, approximately 450 feet east of Snow Avenue and approximately 615 feet west of Pierce Road. This is 3.93 acres to permit 57 multifamily residential units. Ms. Hancock, I see that you have a potential amendment on 1479. So if that is something that you want to offer at this time, and when you request your committee reports, you would need to move 1479 separately for purposes of amendment, if that is your intent. Go ahead, Ms. Hancock, you're recognized.
Committee reports on 1479, please.
Okay, and we can go ahead and do 1480 at the same time. Chair Horton, go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. For 1479, P&Z recommended approval of the amendment, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting, of the bill as amended, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And of the companion bill, 1480, we recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, it's back to you, Ms. Hancock, for a motion.
I'd like to move the amendment with a brief comment, please.
What, we need to move 1479 first to get it before us?
I'd like to do 1479 first to get it before us, please.
Okay, is there a second on 1479? Okay, you still have the floor and you can make the motion to amend.
I'd like to amend with another amendment. We did an amendment at the previous reading, but another amendment today. Can we move that and have a brief comment?
You absolutely may. There's a motion to amend. Is it seconded? Go ahead, ma'am.
So this amendment adjusts some of the comments that we heard at public hearing last reading, where it's kind of a drastic change from the current neighborhood. So we made a more gradual change on the front-facing lots with the heights. We also saved a 20-foot buffer of the large established trees on the back or north side, and added an environmental survey to see if we can establish if there are any of those state endangered streamside salamanders that Madison knows and loves. I'd like to move for approval.
Okay, there is a motion to amend. It is properly seconded, and you've heard a description of the amendment from sponsor Hancock. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend? Or salamanders? No. Okay. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. At this time, do you wish to renew your motion to approve as amended and add 1480, the companion, at this time?
I'd like to move 1479 as amended, and 1480 at the same time for approval with another very brief comment.
Okay. Is there a second on that motion? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Hancock.
Just wanted to emphasize that we were able to get all of those suggestions in and still keep the proposed number of 57 new homes for this particular community. Move for approval.
All right. There is a motion to approve 1479 as amended in a consolidated motion with its companion 1480, which requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings at the addresses in 1479. It's properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, these bills have passed their third and final reading. And that concludes our agenda for this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn? We are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.